You know, it's crazy because as soon as this fight between Canelo and Charlo was announced, the first thing people said was Canelo's taking advantage of a smaller fighter, and although Jermell is a 154 pounder moving up to 168, it's pretty evident that after we seen them next to each other, Charlo looks huge next to Canelo. I mean, even the body language looks intense. So of course, if you're a Canelo fan, the first thing you're going to point out is how the size appears to favor Charlo rather than Canelo, which would eliminate any excuse the Charlo fans or Canelo haters may have. But here's the issue. The issue here is Terence Crawford, and not only all the tit for tat him and Charlo got going on, but also this hypothetical bout against Canelo Alvarez is almost overlapping the Canelo-Charlo matchup. Because after acknowledging a future bout with Terence Crawford multiple times already, we seen how Charlo went on to say that he wasn't really impressed with Bud's win over his friend and fellow stablemate Errol Spence Jr. Charlo even went on to say a lot of the shots Crawford landed on Spence were rabbit punches that everyone completely ignored. We seen how Crawford was on social media trolling Charlo, first with an Instagram post of him on a boat referencing his win over the big fish Spence while calling Charlo the little cub that he's now hunting. Then he posted a tweet sarcastically complimenting how well Mel was carrying himself at the press conferences for his fight with Canelo, which is true. Charlo has been very professional and respectful towards Canelo to the point where some actually want the loudmouth Tupac Shakur type attitude from Mel, but it's not hard to see. Mel's under a lot of pressure and of course is being more humble about his opportunity, all the while trying to remain level-headed, being that it's his first time on a bigger stage. It makes sense and he seems excited for the shot he's been given, but there's no doubt in my mind that even though Team Charlo knows Crawford was playing mind games, sooner or later Jermell's emotions could get the best of him. So if you're a Charlo fan, the main thing you should be worried about right now are the distractions. He's already the underdog here with an uphill battle in front of him, and shit can and will get ugly if Canelo doesn't have his undivided attention. Lately, him and Bud haven't been saying much towards each other, but then this is where Canelo comes in, who's already went on to answer several questions referring to a future Crawford fight, to the point where there's a bit of back and forth going on there as well. And you know, like I know, with Canelo's most recent comments about Crawford, that wasn't gonna fly, being that he said Crawford only has one good win on his resume, which was his most recent win against Errol Spence Jr. this past July. Bud has already went on to reply by pretty much calling Canelo delusional, but since his trainer Bomac is in a jam now after being caught with a firearm at the Manchester airport over in the UK, I'm sure Crawford's more concerned with his trainer's situation right now. My only thing is this: since Crawford has already made himself quite the topic between the three fighters, I'm hoping we don't hear any ranting about how such and such's head wasn't fully in the game and how he was distracted by other things such as the back and forth with Crawford, this, that, and the third. You know, that shit. Both of them say they're focused on one another, but I can already see this as one possible excuse we could hear in the event that Charlo or Canelo loses this fight on September 30th. We all know how this shit goes, man, and all it takes is for one of those guys to have an off night while the others dialed in on a victory. So hopefully Canelo and Jermell both stay disciplined and rise above any outside noise, because we don't want to hear no complaining, we don't want to hear no crying, and we don't want to hear any excuses. Pop off.